In a small town nestled between the forgotten hills of an unremarkable valley, there lived an old philosopher named Eliam. The townspeople referred to him as the Seeker, for his perennial quest was to understand the divine, a journey that many believed was as futile as chasing the horizon. Eliam's home was an eclectic museum of religious artifacts, ancient manuscripts, and countless books on theology and metaphysics. The walls of his study were lined with thoughts of great philosophers and theologians, scribbled and pinned like leaves saved in an autumn diary. Despite his extensive exploration into the divine and the metaphysical, a profound sense of dissatisfaction gnawed at him. Something essential always seemed to elude his grasp. One chilly autumn evening, as crimson leaves danced mockingly at his window, Eliam came upon a peculiar passage in a dusty, forgotten book. It proposed that the true essence of the divine could be seen through understanding the intersection of all faiths and beliefs, a confluence where all waters met, and one could glimpse the face of God in the reflection. Intrigued and spirited, Eliam decided it was time to embark on a journey, not of the mind, but of the spirit and on foot. Leaving behind his home, Eliam wandered through diverse lands, visiting temples, mosques, churches, and places of worship that were less definable yet held the air of sacred reverence. In each place, he engaged with the keepers and the faithful, not to debate or to convince, but to listen and to see through their eyes. As months turned into years, Eliam's beard grew as white as the mountain peaks he crossed, and his eyes, once sharp as an eagle's, softened with the wisdom of acceptance. In a tiny village in the east, he met a young monk named Leon, who taught him about the beauty of impermanence and the art of mindfulness. The divine is like the air around us, untouchable, yet essential and ever-present, Leon said, his voice barely a whisper over the breeze. Further west, in a bustling city, Eliam was moved by the passionate sermons of a preacher named Abigail, who spoke of a God of love, fierce and forgiving. The divine is deeply personal, yet universally binding, weaving through us like threads in a tapestry, she proclaimed amidst the echoes of her congregation's amens. Years later, sitting under the shade of an ancient olive tree in a land rich with history, Eliam conversed with an old mystic, Zahara, who spoke of the divine as a dance, an eternal rhythm to which all of existence moved knowingly or unknowingly. Each heartbeat, every breath, a step in this ineffable dance, she murmured, her eyes reflecting the setting sun. On his return, as Eliam approached his long-forgotten home, he realized that his odyssey had not unveiled a grand, unifying vision of the divine. Instead, he found a mosaic, beautifully fragmented and infinitely complex. It dawned upon him that perhaps the divine was not a single face to be sought or a definitive answer to be discovered, but a spectrum of experiences, a multitude of interpretations, each true in their vibrant subjectivity. Eliam spent his remaining years not as a seeker of the divine, but as a guardian of its diverse revelations. He transformed his home into a sanctuary of stories, each room dedicated to different understandings and experiences of the divine, inviting people from far and wide to share and reflect on their spiritual journeys. In the twilight of his life, while watching the sunset from his porch, Eliam wrote in his final journal entry, "The divine is neither an answer nor a question, but an ongoing conversation, endless, echoing, and wonderfully alive." With a serene smile, he closed his eyes for the last time, leaving behind a legacy of philosophical exploration, celebrating not just the unity, but also the beautiful disparity in the human experience of the sacred.